most
Okay,
option,
yes,
right?
yes,
There are
got
4
it.
options. You have to click on the bottommost one.
Yes, yes, got it. I'm sharing my screen again. So, yes,
Clicked on it.
yes, yes. Are you able to see the screen?
The bottommost one.
It's
Now can you
automatically
share your
going live,
screen
Tarun.
because it will open one browser?
This one.
Huh? So Sandhya, you're
It's
getting live
automatically
option.
going live, Tarun.
It's live. Yeah.
It's live already without clicking blue button.
Sandhya, are you getting live option now?
Going live automatically, Tarun, without informing.
Start, Umang. Umang, you can start. So one of you send me the link on WhatsApp.
So we'll start the dialogue. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Philosophy of Language Socratic Dialogue. With no doubt, language has been one of our fundamental friends in the history of human development. Despite of communication being the most fundamental tool because of which we use language, the functioning of language and the definition of language is debatable. So what is the philosophy of language? In today's dialogue, we have a team of youngsters who will be discussing 2 theories that were proposed by Wittgenstein around philosophy of language. And interestingly, throughout his lifetime, Wittgenstein gave 2 theories around language, and both were contradictory to each other, and still both were popular. So we'll be having a dialogue where each one of us will be presenting one concept or one principle they have spotted from Wittgenstein's theory, and how they are going to use that concept to leverage their learning. Before we go ahead, I would like if the participants of the day share their introduction.
All right, I'll start. Hi, everyone. My name is Palash Devangan, and I work as a product person right now because I've been working in so many roles. I just like to call myself a product person at Deep Thought. So thank you.
Thanks, Palash.
Hi,
So hello.
Yeah, Shakiba, you can go ahead, then Samita.
Hello, hi everybody. I'm Shakiba. I work as a technical project manager for the Creative Organics company.
Thanks, Shakiba. Over to you, Samita.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shomita, and I have been in Deep Thought as a strategic researcher, and it's great to be here.
Thanks, Samita.
Thank you.
I can go ahead. Hello, everyone. I'm Tushar Agarwal, a product researcher at Deep Thought, working on creating a safe ecosystem for the community wherein everyone expresses themselves, grow to be mature, and don't hesitate to dream big. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Tushar.
Hello everyone. I'm Ronak, currently working as a front-end developer in Deep Thought and working on the project named DT Drive.
Thanks, Ronak.
Hi, my name is Shubhangi, and I am a L&D innovator, that is learning and development innovator, maintaining TT culture. Thank you.
Thanks, Shubhangi.
Hi guys, My name is Logu. I'm a front-end developer at DeepThought, currently working on creation of TOC as product, which we discussed on last SD, making it as a product.
Thanks, Logo. Hmm. Yeah, and lastly, I would like to introduce myself. I am Umang. I have been here at Deep Thought as an education disruptor and operation manager. Apologies if I bore you in the next half an hour duration. So without wasting any further time, let's start the discussion. Let me again repeat the format of discussion. All of us, I guess there are 7 participants for today. So all 7 participants will get a chance to present one principle that they had picked from Wittgenstein's theories around philosophy of language, and they have to pitch for around 1 or 2 minutes on how they are going to use that concept to leverage their learning in their day-to-day life. Others can question them once they have presented that pitch. We'll be having 7 rounds. Okay, each round will go for around 5 minutes. Is there any question from anyone before we move ahead? Okay, I guess that means no. So who is going ahead with the first concept, with the first principle? Who would like to share their pitch?
Yes, I'm going in.
Yeah. So over to you, Logu. Again, you will get 1 or 2 minutes at max to present your
Okay.
pitch.
Yeah,
Followed by others question. Please go ahead.
yes. Wittgenstein replaced one of his old theory, which was picture theory, and he replaced it to tool theory, which is meaning of use, where Wittgenstein tells us that every word has a meaning based on the situation or state of affairs here. Like he's supposed to do, like every word will have a picture, what he thought first. Later, he come up with the new theory, which is called tool metaphor. It means gives the whole meaning of the word. It is not based on the picture. It is based on the situation used or situation or the state of affairs. Now, let us take an example, which is in my page. We will take an example as mouse. When we will have 2 scenarios, right? 2 or more than 2 scenarios. I will just bring 2 scenarios now, as of now. Let us come up with mouse. Now, when we talk about computer, we will get to know the mouse is used to control the pointer in the computer, right? What if we are talking about the animalia structure? It will be a mammal. Mouse will be a mammal, right? It will be used for so many things, for testing our medicines. But it is an electronic device. Now it is based on the situation. The tool we are using it is a mouse. It is a non-living thing based on computer. It is a living thing based on animalia structure. This is what my tool metaphor pitch is exposing. If you guys having any questions, go ahead.
Okay, thanks for your pitch, Logo. Anyone having clarification question to Logo regards to his pitch?
So my question is like why he contradicted his theory, his first theory which he wrote, and bring back the tool metaphor theory. Like what was the need of contradicting it?
He thought that it makes so many conflicts, but no one knows. He itself come up with the fundamental theories as an error, which is picture metaphor. We can picturize mouse. What now? Take the same example. I'm just telling you the mouse. what you will think. You will think an electronic device, or else you will think a mammal. It is an error, right? That's why he came up with the new metaphor or new fundamental theory, which is tool metaphor, which is meaning of use. Where we use that word, it
So,
refers the whole meaning of the
right.
word we are using.
Logo, then I want to ask you what is wrong with the picture theory? If a word can point to two pictures also, right?
Yes.
Right. So in case of a mouse, there is an electronic mouse and there is a real life mouse.
Yes.
So I didn't understand what was the shortcoming of the original theory that that was rectified in the second one.
Yeah.
If it's not going on a tangent.
Yeah, it's not. We can now picturize precisely. Now also we are picturing it, but we can picturize precisely. Now if now I'm giving the whole statement, the mouse which is used in a computer, you will get to know that it is a non-living thing, which is electronic mouse, right? Now we are using the meaning of the sentence. The whole sentence is used to get the meaning of that word which we are using it. This is what ratified in the second theory. In my perspective, if you are having any questions or any insights to give to me, willing to have it.
You meant that there should be a structural format, right? If we
Yes.
follow that structural format, then it will be easy for a person to understand.
But the structural format is based on the situation and the statement that we are using while in a discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my question is, can you frame a sentence which you can't picturize using the word mouse?
Which I can't picturize. Okay, that was a nice question. Want to think. Mouse can be used for technology, which is also in my pitch.
But yes, the mouse can be used for technology, right? Which we have in computers.
Which technology? Is it computers the only technology you are having?
Exactly.
Exactly. How? What about the biomedical technologies that we are having? Biomedical, as in we are using the mouse for testing our medicines to him, because mouse has same similarities with human chemical reaction while in biological manner. Now we are also entering into the very biological technology now, right? Biomedical, I'm saying, using a mouse for a technology. And just phrase in one sentence, using mouse for technology. You will have two scenarios. What you will think?
Okay, in a favor of time, I would like to cut this thread here.
Yes.
Before we conclude this round, any learning, in just one or two sentence, Logo would like to share, so that people can leverage their learning using this concept.
Yeah, I was writing my pitch, I just saw my mouse which is beside my computer. Then only I get to know that how language is important while phrasing a sentence. My mind was thinking so many things, like how mouse could be used in a technology. Then only I saw the whole video, not the whole video, like a part of video, which is language of game something. You can learn more from how many sentences you are phrasing and how you are presenting the sentence to the in a discussion. It will give you the more insight.
Okay. Okay, interesting and makes sense as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Logo.
Thank you, Mark.
Now we'll conclude the round one here. Who would like to go ahead next and present their pitch?
Shall I?
Okay, I see Tushar has raised his hand first. Okay. So, yeah, Tushar, you can go ahead.
Yes. So, I'm going to talk about his principle wherein of meaningful language. So Wittgenstein says that, fact is a language, that's fact is only meaningful, while those languages or, those structures, sentences, words that do not have any factual value, or, they are, if they are non-factual, then they do not have meaning. And our attempts to justify those concepts would be meaningless. So when I talk about those concepts, they are usually related to, like, let's say, ethics, religion, faith, and stuff. Since they're not factual, since they're open to interpretation, they are, our attempt to, justify them, to do them justice, would be meaningless, right? So I can give some examples. For example, I say that, let's say, gods don't exist, right? But that's an opinion of mine, right? That's not actually a fact. So whether I say that God exists or not, that's, again, like, that cannot have a specific, a concrete definition or meaning attached to it. So, it's open to interpretation. So how would I use this principle to leverage my learning? Since non-factual stuff don't have meaning and concrete definition, we are not, obliged to follow a certain structure. They're, as I said, they're open to interpretation. So we can, like, have gain perspectives or learn from various schools of thoughts, and then, um, enhance our breadth of the idea. So yes, thank you.
Okay, over to other participants. For the question box, you can question Tushar.
So I have a question to Tushar. I have a sentence like roses are red. Is this a meaningful sentence, or is it under meaningful language?
Okay. I would say it depends, right? First of all, yes, roses are red. That's a fact. But it's not like only roses are only red. They have various colors. But still, the word, the sentence in itself, roses are red, since it's a fact, I think, it has a meaning. Yeah, it does have a meaning.
How it
What
be?
if the
Yeah, go
how
ahead,
to do?
Ronak.
Yes.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Achha, my question is a question to my previous question. It's like, suppose if a person is color blind, if he has color blindedness or something like that, color blindness, yes. So will he be able to see red color in rose? So according to him, it is a meaningless sentence, right?
Okay. For them, it might be, okay. Yes, that's an interesting question. So, okay, so roses are red, right? That's a factual that has been accepted universally, right? We all know that universally that roses are red, and there might be, again, some exceptions, some, people who might not be able to relate to those systems which have been created. So for them, those systems or facts might not have any meaning, but just because for them it doesn't make sense, it doesn't mean that for others it won't, right? So I would say that, in a larger perspective, in a larger scale, if, it has a meaning, if it makes sense, if it's a fact, then I think it has a meaning.
I have one question to Tushar.
Yeah.
You said that roses are red is a universal fact, right?
Yes.
Yes. Naturally,
I would like to correct myself. I wouldn't say universally, because I would say, global fact. Right?
okay,
On,
okay,
yeah.
globally, fine. There is a rose which is a light pink and yellowish and white. It's also uh, grown naturally. It is not a chemical. There is no chemical change. It is not an artificial, right? How it would be a universal or global fact?
Right. So as I said, right, just because rose being red is, globally is known, it doesn't mean that rose cannot have any other color, right? Rose can have a lot of colors, but the fact that rose has red color, that is meaningful in itself, right? Rose is pink in color. That's also meaningful.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Can we say that most of the roses are red? That's why it is a global fact.
Most of the roses are red. I would say no. Again, it depends, right? How can you say that most of the roses are red?
Then why we are assuming that roses are red only. Not only, why we are giving the statement it is red instead of giving any other color. Why I can't say roses are white?
Okay.
We can
So
use the majority here, right? Numbers.
right. So what you're saying is the color that the rose has. Why have we called it red and not some other? Why?
Hmm.
Okay, you are talking about the
Yes.
name, right? A name that has been given.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm not sure why red has been given the term red, but it must have
No, no,
some
no. I'm not
etymology.
asking about the red. Why the red is red? I'm asking why rose is red.
Because that's
Why?
natural, right? Rose comes in various colors, and red is one of them.
One of them. Why the one of them is used to be a red? Why can't be a pink or white? That's my question. Why it might not be a majority of the numbers of rose grown as red?
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not getting your question.
Like, then we can say most of the rose are being red, so they named it as a red rose. So roses are red.
Okay.
Loku, I guess, we are not getting what is the point you are trying to make here by, determining the color of those. So what is the philosophical intent that you are trying to make here?
Yeah, I was trying to make the what it is. We can say the tool metaphor itself.
How?
How? Since roses are red, how it meaningful? I can say roses are pink or white also. Why the majority is red? How the sentence means.
Okay, because it can be, as simple as, because let's say that 1 lakh roses, okay, are there in this world. Out of 1 lakh roses, 80,000 roses are, red. And hence people might use that.
That's my statement.
Yeah.
The majority of roses are grown as red. That's why we call roses are red. That's my statement.
Okay, that's your statement. So what's
Yes.
Okay,
what's
it's
the
commonly
philosophical
found as well.
argument? What's the argument then?
Yeah, the argument is also the same. Why it is named as red? Because the majority of roses grown as red.
Okay, what
So
is
we
the
can
point
say,
to conclude here? What is the point to conclude here?
yeah, the majority means the number makes sense.
Okay, the number makes sense in language. Okay.
Yes.
You're putting a point here. All right. Any counter to this question, Tushar?
Okay, how is it relevant to the idea of language having a factual language having a meaning?
Any answer, Logu?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I said I talked about the principle of language having a meaning or not having a meaning or having a meaning, right? So the argument that you presented, how is it relevant or related to that idea, that principle?
If your numbers are being strong in your statement, it will make more sense than just being it as a statement.
But do numbers always represent facts?
I said the majority. I didn't give the accurate value. The majority number makes sense, not gives the accurate value.
Okay, what if majority of people on earth say that God exists? Would you consider it a fact?
No.
Why not? Because again, there's majority, right?
Yeah, it's majority, but some sort of people doesn't believe that God exists.
Right, but
so
in the case of
we are
Okay.
just.
Yeah.
So what is the point, Tushar, you are trying to make?
Yes, so I'm trying to argue the point that he made, that since majority of roses are red, that's why we use the statement roses are red. Right now, my argument is if majority of people say that they believe in God, that God exists, then why don't we say that God exists? Right? Like, why is not that a fact? Because there's also a majority, right? Comparing to the argument that Logu said, when he was talking about roses are red.
Makes sense. So
Yeah. Can I say majority of people believe God exists? So people are being, how can I say, super spiritual.
No, but is that a fact? That's the question.
No, it's not a fact. It's not proven yet.
Right. Then, talking about the example of roses are red, when we say that since red, roses are most common, right? And hence they are used in that sentence of, roses are red. Does that make it affect that, only since red roses are common, that's why we use it?
Not general,
Does it
not got the
establish a
logic.
meaning?
Okay, again, we went back to that same, debatable argument. In the favor of time, I would like to close this round here.
Okay.
Okay, it was an interesting discussion. We elongated a bit.
We will continue this thread, Tushar.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
You can always continue in our discussion room WhatsApp groups. Now who is going next? Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, Samir, you can go ahead.
So the principle I was going to talk about, it is there is no single essence in the meaning of word in language. Just to elaborate, so a word, it can have a very different meaning on the basis of the context, right? And the word does not necessarily have to mean exactly same in the different context as well. So as again, I will come back to words could be seen as a tool to express. But here it could happen that the meaning of the word could have some crisscross resemblance as well. So that's why it would not have a single essence. You cannot describe a single essence to describe the meaning of a word, but it could be close. Just to give an example, I would use three kind of word. One is a hand of a person. Another one is a hand of a clock. And another one is the hand of a king. In three contexts, please notice the word hand. So when I am saying the hand of a person, it means a bodily anatomical feature, right? When I am mentioning the hand of a clock, it is completely meaning an object. But how it is connected, I can bring a small similarity that a human being uses their hand to point at something. Like that, the hands of the clock, they point towards the times, right? Then again, I'll come back to the word of the hand of a king. When we think about the hand of a king, it comes to a person that has very much power and that is doing the operations on behalf of the king, right? So here, how it is connected to the meaning of hand. Like a person's hand, it is helping to do some work. For a hand of a king also, it is helping to do the work. So it could have a very crisscross meaning, closer meaning. In this context, I put out the principle that the word might not have single essence in the meaning of the language.
Okay. So I guess the principle is crystal clear what you wanted to say. But how would you leverage this concept to understand better?
I would use this concept to understand better by using the relativity or connection. So whenever some discussion is going on, I would try to find the connection of the meaning that I know and will try to relate. I would just give a yes, Tushar.
Okay,
No,
let
please,
us.
you can finish. Yeah.
Okay, I can just have a saying. So today only we were having a discussion. So I don't understand about gaming a lot. So there, like Harshvardhan helped me to explain in a bag. So he was talking about, think the world is filled with red colored bag and you are bringing a black color bag with different features. And to sew the bag, you are using codes. So this kind of relatability I can bring and I can understand.
Okay, understanding to relatability. Yes, over to you, Vishal, for a question.
Right. So when you said that how you would use this principle, you said that you would relate the concept to a certain idea which you are already familiar with. Then how would you explain the idea of language itself, using this principle? Like language in itself, does it have a single essence or does it have different meaning in different contexts? Can you give some examples maybe?
It would not have a single essence. essence, but yes, due to the context, it could change, but yeah, it could have some connection.
Can you please
So
define
there was a,
essence?
yes, so there was a word that was going around. I did not understand is xylo. People were working in xylos. I did not understand what is xylo and how it could mean, right? So usually xylo is a thing that is totally under a box. Everybody like that is something that is to use and capture one thing at a place, and this is airtight capture, right? So I understand the concept of xylo, but how would I be able to relate the essence of xylo? That somebody is just in a place and it is surrounded by their own walls. So when it comes to walking in xylo, I would understand that, okay, walking in xylo means a person who is just in their own world, who is not interacting with other people.
Okay, then I have a question. You said, right, Wittgenstein, when you're talking about this principle, Wittgenstein himself said that we should not ask for meanings, but we should ask for the context, and that's what you're talking about. Now, let's say that you enter a room and you see that someone is using, let's say, a cup, right, a mug to hit on nails, right? Now, based on that context, you would form that definition or meaning in your mind that a mug is something which is used to hit nails. Then isn't that a misunderstanding? Like, how do you know if it's a misunderstanding? Does context always mean that you would have a good understanding of a certain concept or a word?
Okay. Maybe context would not be the right word in such case. It might be like using the words as a tool. So if I see that somebody is saying that hitting nails by a mug, so I would rather not like the concept comes of observe the meaning of language being outside of the language game. So I would observe the meaning of what it happens.
Sorry, what do you mean by outside the language?
As in like observing what is happening through the mug. Like if somebody is hitting the nails in the mug, are they being successful?
Okay, but
So
then, right, please go.
yes. So in such case, I would be able to understand what is the concept of mug.
Right. Okay. So I think I need to clarify my question. So, let's say that you enter a room and then you are asked to write a definition of something which is being used to hit the nail. Now you go to that room and then you see that a mug is being used to hit the nail. Then what would your definition of a mug be? You will say that it's an instrument which is used to hit the mug, right? That's the context. But won't that definition be wrong because mug is something that we use to drink, something?
For in this argument, I think through my observation, mugs will be the thing that is used to hit a nail.
Right. Yes.
Because that is my observation for the moment.
Right. So doesn't it mean that context can sometimes lead to misunderstanding or something which are not intended for that purpose, right? Like mug is not intended for that purpose, but you got to know from that context that it is. Now in future, if you try, you might, do something wrong, right? So do context always, make sense, or like, is that a good idea to look at words from context and not from meaning?
Yes, I think in that case, it would be like wise to look at the meaning as well. I mean, not just go with the context as well.
But doesn't that then, contradict the principle that you presented? Because you don't have a meaning,
there
right?
is no
You're trying to
single
understand.
essence, right? Yes, there is no single essence, right? I could connect to something else as well. If mug is it has a handle, so somebody is holding something. So as there is no single essence, so I could look for another essence as well, right?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So Soumita, I have a question. How can I use the word biscuit to resemblance for the family resemblance thing? Because you told about the example of a human hand, right, and a hand in a clock. So both of the sentences made sense, but in terms of biscuit, like I don't think like there can be any multiple essence or multiple resemblances of sentences which we can have and which can make sense.
Biscuit, okay, biscuit could be a kind of food. It could have that gold biscuit. That's another thing, right? This could be two things. But yeah, around the shape we are talking. Biscuit could be something that is looking like biscuit. It is being called like that, right? Like golden biscuit. So in that context, golden biscuit is not a food. Golden biscuit is something that's probably an asset, or probably somebody has something, jewelry, gold. The only thread is the shape. I mean, I hope I'm able to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, in the favor of time, I would I have to stop this interesting discussion. Thanks, Samita, for having this discussion of uh, understanding to relatables. Now, would like to go next and present it.
All right, may I?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So my understanding is a bit of like combining everyone's and building on everyone's understanding what people have been presenting. So Wittgenstein gave the philosophy of language, right? So this means he was asking some fundamental questions about the nature of language and how we understand language, right? So he gave some theories like tools theory, or words are merely tools to understand language, or rather, yes, words are merely tools to understand language, and words don't have a single meaning to them, as Shamita said, right? So my takeaways were that when we are interacting with someone and using a language, it's like we are playing a language game, right? So what Wittgenstein said here is just like games have some certain set of rules, and these set of rules are not absolute. They are just decided by the players themselves or the people involved in the game, right? So language is that. For example, if scientists say that something is not fundamental, they mean something. But when a philosopher says that, or when a social science person says that, the meaning of fundamental changes, right? And we often confuse these interpretations, and this is a cause of major conflicts among us, right? So like my key takeaways or my understanding from that, how will I use it to that? I'll look for the domain or the game with which a particular term was used, or whoever is saying that, right? And I won't ever dismiss something outright, because the game they are playing, they might be different from the game that I'm playing with that language. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, you will play the game of games. All right. Yeah. Uh, any curious participant having question to our participant Palash?
So I have a question to Balash. So is there any foundation or like any root from where like the language games are based on, or like from where it just comes out? Is there any rule for that foundation?
Like Ronak, is there a foundation to football? Football is a game. Where did football come from? Do you know the origin? Like, or example, cricket. It was just, some people came together and they decided that, these are the things that we'll follow. If a ball goes beyond this distance, we'll call it a boundary, something like that. So this is decided by the players of the game, or whoever are involved in this. So similarly, a language also, the rules of the language are based on the people using it. Like, and people have agreed to it, and people have agreed to follow these rules.
Okay, does that make sense? No, can you follow up question?
Can't we say it as a foundation? The peoples who originated the cricket, they are the foundation of cricket. Founders of cricket, then the ideation is the foundation, right?
Once again, it depends on the game that you're playing. Yes, you might call some people might call it foundation. Some people might not call it foundation. But the thing is, if you look, if I'm looking something from, if I'm looking at the 5th floor from the top, I'll say that it's on the bottom. And if someone is looking for the ground floor, they'll say that 5th floor is up. We both are pointing to the same things, but our directions are different, right? And I think the major conflict is the difference in directions.
Okay. Got it, Plus.
Tushar, yes.
Right. So you said that, based on the context of the people who are using those languages, the meanings could change and it could lead to different like misinterpretations and stuff, right? Now,
Yes.
talking about culture and stuff, that's why they're all different because they have different understanding of a certain idea.
Yes.
But because of which people are not on the same page, right? Because if people are not on the same page, can there be one growth, one civilizational growth? Let me take you I'll give you an example. In this company itself, let's say that Soumita has a different belief, I have a different belief.
Yes.
Right? We are not on the same page and we agree to disagree. Right? Then we want to be on the same page. Then how can we move in that train station when we are all heading to the same vision or objective? One that be subject to misinterpretations and hinder the growth.
How can we? I mean, are you asking me the techniques to do that, or just the general way of can we do that?
Yes, I'm asking, since languages are prone to misinterpretations.
Yes.
Can it hinder growth? Can it lead to people not being aligned and civilization not growing? Maybe.
Yes, of course, it can lead to friction because something that I fundamentally believe in or strongly believe in, it might offend your understanding or it might not relate to that. Right? But I feel like if I define a coin as just having a number on it, if I just say that it's just tails, and you say that no, it has an emblem on it and call it heads, we both are defining the same coin, right? And it's not that I am 100% correct or you are 100% correct. Sometimes it happens that both of our interpretations are correct, and if that is the case, we can combine both of these interpretations to form a bigger theory.
And what is that bigger thing? Because if the interpretations are different, let's say you're discussing an idea, you have a completely different understanding, right? Let's say that there's a coin. A person might look at it from the heads, I might look at it from the tails. Then when talking about defining, let's say I'm writing a definition or meaning of coin, I will say that it's a something that has that number, but the other person would write as someone's head is there, let's say. Right? So wouldn't that lead to again conflicts, more and more conflicts?
It will lead to, of course it will lead to, but in the end, if someone if we were to happily reconcile those differences, we'll see the coin as being not just heads and tails, but heads and tails are just a part or sides of the coin, right? If we can combine them, we'll understand that it's both heads and both tails, just like how we define electrons as being both waves and both particles.
Okay, time out. Okay. We are in, okay. Because of this flow, okay, I didn't realize the time. It's already 8:40. So we'd like to conclude this round right away. And we'll go towards our next round. Yeah. Probably the last second round. Yes. I would like to go ahead with the pitch.
Yes, I would like to go ahead. It's from the principle which Ludwig stated it's about ubiquity of a language. It's like what we see reality is combined by a whole conceptual structure that we have articulated in a language, right? So reality divides up the way we want to divide it, or it gets shaped up how we want to shape it. There cannot be any existence of the words such as experience or thinking that like human being gain by being a full grown adult if language doesn't permit. So if language doesn't permit, he can be an adult, he can have experience, but there is no word of experience. So how can he define that experience, right? There can be something like beer. A word is beer, right? So this word can be used for someone saying bear the pain, or it can be used for a word animal, referring to an animal. And also like I use the word sound, right? It can be used to say someone like reduce the sound, or someone can use like this sounds good, right? So it divides up the way we want to divide it. That's the main principle which is stated. Yeah.
And how would you leverage this principle to understand things better?
So the thing is like I will use the word um okay. So as of now, the word experience and behavior has some meaning to it, right? According to me, in English language. So I will use that word to generalize, like, yeah, this like I have 1 year experience of something, right? I have 6 months experience of something. So it's something like a private language to me, right? So only this experience can be understood only by me, not by anyone else. So I can use it for the benefit of myself.
All right. Now over to mm, yeah, questions.
How you
Yes.
are saying that it's a private language? You know what is the meaning of experience. I also know what is the meaning of experience. Then I can conclude what you are trying to convey.
Okay, but how do you know how much experienced I am in something? That
You
only I
mentioned that
think.
you
Yeah.
mentioned 6 months of experience.
But if I haven't mentioned it to you, if I can actually use the word. I am an experienced developer in deep thought. So does
Okay.
it mean I am having 5 years of experience, or 2 months of experience, or 10 days of experience? With the word of experience, you cannot like
Yeah.
determine what I am actually trying to say. But according to me, the word experience actually meant 6 years of experience. Let's suppose, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's why.
Yeah. To clarify, uh, me and Tushar had one thread, which is based on numbers, right? That's why we
Yeah.
use numbers on statements or sentences that we praise while in the discussion. It makes sense. Then, if you are not praising your sentence without number, it doesn't make sense. Then your statement doesn't make any sense. Can I say that?
Exactly. My sentence, it doesn't make any sense. Uh, to
Then
like,
whom do you are conveying
yeah.
in the discussion?
I'm just pointing out the ubiquity of a language. How some words can mean different to someone, or some words can have hidden meanings in it which you don't know, right?
Ah, the whole thing of philosophy of language is to the statement that we are not philosophy of language. The discussion is about something, right? The discussion, which is to understand what are the pointers of both peoples or more than two peoples in the discussion, right? How it will be useful if none of the people are knows about what you are conveying to someone conveying to try. If
Okay.
someone you are the only person in the discussion,
Mhm.
rather than you doesn't know about what you are trying to say, how it would be a good conversation. Your statement doesn't make sense. How you are contributing to the discussion now.
Okay. Suppose there is a statement which is, I will like to put forth my previous statement, which is roses are red, and I am color
Okay.
blinded, right? I don't see
Okay.
any color. And according to me, roses are blue because I see blue color, and this is my fact, which I have, which I know. So
Yes.
how can I disprove, or how can I, prove that roses are red if I am seeing the blue color? How can I believe someone, right? So according to me, the reality is based on this sentence, and this sentence holds meaning to me,
Yeah.
while
Now,
it doesn't has any meaning to others. So that's my
okay.
reality, right?
Okay. Same. Your reality is color blindness. Yes.
Okay. In the period of time, okay, we'll like to take questions from Tushar and Samita
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just have one clarification question. So earlier you said, right, that you can either say to a person that I am experienced, or you can say that I have 10 years of experience. Right now, 10 years of experience, if you say it would lead to like clarified on statement, right? That I'm 10 years of experience and the person would understand it really well. If you don't use the term 10, then it would lead to ambiguity. They won't know. Then why would you use it? Like, wouldn't you want your things that you are saying to make sense? Why wouldn't you speak, in terms of details? Why use ambiguity in language?
Uh, okay. Yeah, but during a conversation, or if I'm referring this sentence to someone, not just from my understanding, yeah, there is an ambiguity here, and I have to correct that thing, right? Yes, I have to use the
Right,
word, in a proper manner, right, with the help of
right.
numbers.
So you have to make an extra effort to again clarify the thing, right? Then why not take that step in the first place and not be ambiguous?
Yes, exactly. Uh,
Right.
there might be a situation now when someone just, in terms of like, you can say when he is in a rush, so he said something which is an ambiguous sentence, but he meant, like, yeah, I am this much experienced, or I have been working for this many years, but in a rush he just said something else, or like he didn't put that thing. So there can be a
Right.
situation. So it depends
Now,
on the situation in which the sentences are getting shaped according to.
right. Now, why did the person in Rus use ambiguity as a term of as a means of communication, not use detail as a means of communication? Like, is that a rule or something? Like, where we taught in that way to be ambiguous, where when we are in Rus? Like let's say that I'm in Rus and I can just, instead of saying that I have this much of experience, I can say that, I have 10 years of experience. So why isn't I have 10 years of experience a statement that you use when you're in Rus? Why ambiguity again in that case? I hope that's making sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. People often say, like, I have some experience working in this field. So these are also ambiguous, but they use it to refer to a sentence. They are not in a rush. So yeah, people actually use it, right, in order to define
Right.
a
So
sentence.
do people use it because they themselves are not able to define it?
Okay,
Because when I say some,
maybe.
right? Yeah, okay, please go ahead.
Okay, someone is having Alzheimer's disease, right? He forgets his past experiences, what he had. So he, instead of saying, like, instead of putting the numbers, right, like, I have 8 years of experience, he forgot how many years of experience he had, and he just mentioned, I have some years of experience in this field, and I can do this work. So according to him, so it's not his fault, right? The sentence is ambiguous, but according to him, it's a, fact. It's what, his reality is getting shaped.
Okay, now, okay,
Yes.
okay,
It's
yeah, go ahead.
8:50. So
Yeah.
okay, apologies to Logu and Swamita, as well as Shubhangi. We are unable to take your pitch, but um, we'll take a reflection. So I officially end all the rounds of today's Socratic dialogue here. We will have reflections now. So Shubhangi, since you haven't pitched, you didn't got a chance to pitch. Would you like to reflect first?
Yeah. So like I had a beautiful experience. Like philosophy, it's itself a vast topic, and when you dig into it, it's like never ending. So since we talk about interpretation, everyone have their own way of interpreting things. And while we were in a discussion, everyone might be thinking of like their own way of interpreting it. So it's like when people say roses are red, like I just had this thought that red might mean a different, different shades of color, like shade of red, right? So particularly what shade of red, so it comes to that, right? So it's a very complex subject and a vast subject, like it's everywhere when you get into the philosophy. And one of the thing is when we talk about the family resemblance that came in. So it's like, there are so many things in the world, and when you try to connect the dots between those two different things, somehow you are able to find the similarity between those two things. That is the beauty of language, right? So one of the event that we have in deep thought is spider web, where you kind of connect to various, like two very different things, and somehow try to find the connection between those two. Like this is such a beautiful experience, like speechless experience. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks, Shubhangi. And the rest of the participants will take your reflection on the work link. I would just like to close this Socratic dialogue by saying two things, that came to my mind. That, according to this discussion, it is justifiable that, language, uh, you know, it has the power, okay, of how we see the world. I just came to an idea that, like language, uh, different type of, um, processes that we go through, even different types of body language uh, have the capability of, how we perceive this world. For example, here, okay, it's a different kind of body language, okay, that we are here on the hot seat. And on the Metasocratic dialogue, where people are, having dialogue in different breakout rooms, it will be a different kind of body language. So that also, changes the way we perceive this world. So this interpretation came to my mind, which I wanted to share. With this, we officially end the Socratic dialogue here.